Hey, good morning. It's early Saturday. I think it's about 9 o'clock or 9:30, and I'm out wandering around. This is one of the fancy malls in town, Central Embassy. I'm going to explore around the back side of the embassy in that neighborhood just to get my boundaries. This is, well, over here anyhow. I'm not sure if it's called that way, is Wireless Road. Watayu Road? I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but Wireless Road with the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Ambassador's residence. Irish Embassy, Italian Embassy. Off on the left over here, about 3 blocks, is the Swiss Embassy. This is BTS Planchet. And this is Planchet Road. Again, I'm going to head off behind Central Embassy, 2, 3, 4 blocks from the train. Check out the neighborhood. Now the Central Embassy, the mall, is going to take up the better part of 2, 3 blocks here. But we'll snake around back here. Maybe not go as far as Pechaberry, but just take a peek back here. It's going to be a lot of hotels. I already know that, but there's probably some beautiful condo and apartment buildings. Soy Som Kit. And this is Central over here. And see, I go by on the train every day and I still mix all these malls up. I'm not a huge mall guy. I guess this is Central Embassy Mall, if it's a mall. I'm not even sure. And over here it says Central, so is that Central World Mall? I can't keep track of all these malls. There's just like 6 attached to each other. The only reason I have to duck in there is when it's 100 degrees outside. It feels like a refrigerator in most of those malls. And attached to the end of the mall here is a Tops. So there's your grocery store, and they also have a nice lunch counter in most Tops. It says Tops Food Hall. So I'm assuming they at least have some nice clean street food setups, cafeteria style. Some nice coffee places and bakery, and then the more affordable $1.50, $2 food stands. Right, almost attached to the mall, the New House condominium. And the new house looks pretty nice. Right next door to the Tops, and not even 2 short blocks to the BTS station. Samkid Gardens. Now that looks like an expensive building based on the size of those balconies. They're about as large as my living room. Across the street from the Samkid. Looks like some kind of fancy restaurant. I'm not sure. It's the Nay Laert Park Heritage Home, Bangkok. Some beautiful grounds. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to walk back here, but we'll see if they stop me. It says private property. This looks like a beautiful area where maybe they do weddings and this type of thing. There's definitely a restaurant and cafe here. Old school bus. So some old beautiful home that's now a fancy area for celebrations. I'd guess. I have no idea. Nice park-like setting, that's for sure, even though it's a private event. So that was kind of cool. I had no idea that was back there. Maybe I'll get invited to a fancy wedding there one day. The Mama San restaurant is also there. And across the way is the Aqua Hotel, I think it says. Oh, it's a restaurant. Aqua Restaurant. We're about 3-4 blocks from Planchet Road, and the mall's right over here. Just some smaller businesses tucked away here. The Siri House. We'll go take a peek. Something called Divana. Divana Spa. One of them fancy go in there for 6-hour type deals, I guess. House of Fritz Hansen and Siri House. I'm not sure what this is. Restaurants? I'm not sure. I would guess these are some fancy little restaurants tucked away back here. Pistachio cookies. This looks more like a bakery, maybe? Luca? Real nice. That's the cool thing with Bangkok. Even though it's a huge city, there's all kinds of little small hid-away oases, I guess you'd call them, in the city. I like to get out and explore around. I mean, I don't know how far I walk, miles, and I rarely, I won't say rarely, but I try not to get in too much of a habit eating at the same places and getting in a big routine. I like to just wander around and kind of get lost and find different places to have lunch and maybe go back in the evening sometime. Who knows, maybe I'll end up at one of those restaurants at some point that I had no idea we're even back there. And what is this on the left? I guess that Luca is a bakery. It says bakery. Looks like some fancy florist or something, probably for all the thousands of dollars of flowers that happen at those different events. Heritage House. And forgive me, I'm not sure. I think that's Korean, and I think that's Japanese. I'm not sure. There's some different places tucked away back here. This is almost like I won't call it fast food, but it's just a very small takeaway window. That's what it looks like anyhow. Yan Cha. Well, I can't understand that menu, but I'm sure they would map it out for me. Oh, it looks like fancy teas. YOLO Forest. Eyewear hair salon. Another restaurant. Vegan noodle. Again, just some little hidden places back here. Getting attacked by mosquitoes. There's a large drainage ditch here. They're all over Bangkok. It rains so much, but sometimes they cause a mosquito issue in the heat. Here's the Park Chidlom building. This looks like a beautiful building. Still a very reasonable walk to BTS Chidlom, and I don't think we're Plonchette, and I don't think we're too far from BTS Chidlom. Kind of a little bit in the middle, but not even 4 big blocks to the train. And what was the name of this building again? The Park at Chidlom. So I guess we are closer to the Chidlom BTS. I'm kind of losing my boundaries, but we're not that far. Maybe 3 blocks in that direction to BTS Plonchette. I'd say we're kind of in the middle. Looks like they have some nice tennis courts as well. You just have to be a little bit careful with this kind of stagnant water. I mean, these drainage, I'll call them drainage ditches. They're not really sewer. It doesn't stink or anything, but it's just to capture. Sometimes it seems like it drops a foot of rain in 24 hours at times around here. So you need these drainage systems, but you have to be careful. If that were to be your living room sliding window, you're gonna catch some mosquitoes, that's for sure. Not the end of the world, but when you're looking at dozens of places, if you're not right next door to one of these drainage ditches, all the better. Here's the address, Art Deco, Chidlom. You can check out Property Scout or Hit Flat and put in the address, and it'll give you an idea of rents and the sale of some of those beautiful units. It looks like we're kind of dead ending down here, but I'm not sure. And here's the Movenpick Wellness Resort, which I seen on the other street over here. I think it's well, it's a wellness resort. It's kind of in between a spa and get your Botox, all those kinds of things. And you can still see, I think it's still Planchet Road and the train way down a good 5 blocks. And I think this might be the end of the road, but we'll go take a peek, see if it turns to the left. I like it back here. It's very mellow. Again, here's another entrance or exit to the address. Of course, I like all these super expensive areas. Big surprise. This isn't exactly set up for pedestrian, but it's not a freeway back here, so it's not the end of the world. Here's another building tucked away back here. And they look like very large units. And you just have to put things in comparison. Compared to New York City prices or Sydney, Australia, you might say, yeah, that's a great deal at $1,300 or $1,400 US dollars. I just have a retiree guy's mindset, and $500 a month is better than $1,500 a month. So I'll just go with a smaller place. I pointed it out many times. That's how the rich people get around Bangkok, is these limo vans. And we're popping out on another main street here, which I'm sure I've been on, and I don't know what it's called, but I'll find out. So there you go. There's a peek behind Central Embassy at the buildings over here. That Heritage House, the tops, all these beautiful buildings. And we've popped back out on another main drag here, and I apologize. I'm sure when I get to the BTS, I'll go, oh, geez, of course, it's such and such street, but I don't know what it is right now. So we'll just walk the 2-3 blocks down to the BTS, and then I'll tell you what the street is when we get down there. Again, I'm sorry, there's no address markers anywhere. This just says Chidlom Place building. Well, this is definitely more of a thoroughfare. I've been up and down these streets 2 or 3 times, but not enough to have them all memorized. I might know what they are up by the BTS, but you get me 2-3 blocks back here, I'm kind of lost. Just exploring around. This sure is a nice area back here. Again, kind of mellow. Not a lot of small street food options, that kind of thing. More just fancy restaurants. I didn't even really see a 7-Eleven. I'm sure in that mall where the Tops is, you can get everything you need. Here's the park. Well, the park, we already passed over there, didn't we? I think the park just takes up several blocks. And I can't tell what this, it looks like some kind of just business across the way. Gymboree, playing music. Is that for kids to jump around in? I have no idea. Yeah, Gymboree, Growing Young Minds, early childhood program. The Gene Building. I'm not sure what that is. I like their zebras. And over here is, I see a Domino's Pizza and optometry, just some more local businesses. It's quiet. It's not even 10 in the morning on a Saturday. Here's a dental clinic. And back here at, I think that's a medical office and a dentist. Visionary. Stone and Star. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it says bar. Stone and Star Bar. Number 28, Chidlom. Oh, my eyes aren't so good. It just says 28 Chidlom, I guess. Luxury condominiums. It looks very nice. And the Tops Market pops out on this side as well. There's folks living over here. So we're coming back up to Central. I don't think it's Central World. I think it's just Central Mall. Again, forgive me with these malls. And that just takes up that whole area. And we were out looking at all the buildings behind. So Central is gonna start way over there where we first started and end over here. Here's some smaller businesses. And you can also get through to the Tops. Looks like a nice building. Citicon. Across the way from the Orakarn building. That looks more like an office building, but I'm not sure. Some type of government building. The Vanessa. Office building. Office and retail. And we're coming back up to the mall. Looks like a Mexican place, Casa Mia, I'm guessing. Maybe it's Spanish. I'm used to my Mexican food from Southern California. And this government building on the right is the Metropolitan Electric Authority. Power's not too bad over here. I just paid my $40 power bill, and I have at least one air conditioner on the entire time I'm in the apartment. So that's reasonable. And right there is the BTS train tracks. Chidlom exits, or Chidlom BTS is going to be right over here, and Plone Chit, 3-4 blocks in the other direction. And we made it back up to Central. And I need to stop calling it Central World because I think there's a Central World over here. I can't keep track. I know there's a Central Embassy, a Central, and a Central World. Then there's a Siam Discovery, a Siam Paragon. I don't know the difference between those either. And we're back up to Plone Chit Road in the BTS, and I'll finally figure out what the name of this main drag is, which I'm sure I'm gonna call myself an idiot for not knowing, but when you're down 3-4 blocks, gets a little confusing to me anyhow. Okay, well, it says I was just on Thanan Chidlom, and I wouldn't have guessed that. That was Thanan Chidlom where we popped out down there, and now we're back up to Plone Chit Road. Hey, thanks for checking it out. I'm just a new guy wandering around Bangkok, exploring the area, maybe looking for my next apartment hidden away back here somewhere. If you like these looks around Bangkok, consider subscribing. Thank you so much.